What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. So listen, you guys, we are back to talk a little bit more about what's going on in this case with Tasha K versus CardiB. I believe we are on day 8 of the trial. And baby, let's just start with what happened last night. So last night, y'all know the internet is undefeated. Somebody uncovered a post that Tasha K, a review that she wrote on her attorney Olga, that was a while ago. It wasn't recent, it was a while ago, where she said that this was the worst lawyer that she's ever had, how she's never using her again. She went into court ill prepared, was stumbling under her own words, how Olga advised her to do a countersuit, in which she did provide a countersuit, but then most of it was thrown out, which made Tasha K feel like she didn't know what she was talking about, and why did she go through the trouble of filing a countersuit just for it to be thrown out. She said she would never ever use this person again, and she certainly did not recommend her. Now, that's all well and good. You are perfectly within your rights to feel however you feel about your legal counsel that I'm sure you paid a lot of money for. Here's the problem. Then why did you still use her? Because let's be clear. Now, I didn't go to nobody's law school, so y'all lawyers in the comments, y'all get me together if I'm wrong. But I know that there are certain rules around an attorney quitting, or even a client firing their attorney once they've gotten to a certain point in the case. I get that. I know that there are rules surrounding that. However, if the judge is telling you to get a new lawyer, I feel like you're within your rights in that time period to get a new lawyer. We know that going all the way back to the preliminary hearings, the judge in Tasha K's case was telling her, you need new representation. This ain't the answer. You need new representation. These people are inept. You need representation because I'm about to file them in contempt because they are screwing it all up. So I feel like if the judge is telling you to get a new attorney, not only are you within your rights in that moment to do it, but the judge would support it if there was some sort of problem. Tasha K, at this point, you have publicly been saying that this woman is the best thing since sliced bread and that your attorneys are doing a great job, which I guess that's what you have to do. But it seems to me like you knew a long time ago that she wasn't the answer and that you were not being represented appropriately. Now, some people have speculated that maybe that's what this is all about, that at this point in time, Tasha is trying to go for a mistrial. Again, didn't go to nobody's law school. But it seems to me, can you say that you had, what is it, the legal term is ineffective counsel, I believe, when you knew you had ineffective counsel at a point where you could have changed your counsel? You knew you had ineffective counsel at a point where the judge told you maybe it's time for you to get a new attorney? Even to the point where the judge said in front of you and anybody else who would listen, I am going to reach out to the bar in the jurisdiction where your attorney has their license to see if I can file a formal complaint and get them censured. If that is not enough of an incentive to say, maybe, just maybe, I need to find a new attorney, I don't know what else is. And the fact that you wrote this horrible review a year ago tells me you knew. Now, I don't know if that's what your whole strategy is at this point, but I don't think that's going to be very successful. I could be wrong. Again, didn't go to law school. Now, the second thing we know went down, this morning we went back to court, and Tasha K's defense is presenting their case. And what we did this morning in court, I say we like I was there, child. What happened this morning in court was Tasha K's defense played the whole 90-minute conversation that she had with Lovely T. Now, Lovely T is another YouTuber that also reported some of this Star Marie situation down with the CardiB. So, let me talk about a couple of things with this phone call. First of all, if I'm on the jury, there's no way in hell that I want to sit through a 90-minute phone call between you and your girlfriend talking about whatever the hell it is you're talking about. Splice it up, cut it up, dice it. Tell me what I need to know. Explain to me why it's important and let me figure it out. Now, we do know that earlier in the week or late last week, the prosecution did play parts of this tape for specific purposes. So the only thing that I could think of is that maybe Tasha K's attorneys wanted the jury to hear the full tape so that whatever was spliced and diced last week, make sure that it was put in proper context and make sure that the jury understood what was being said and why it was being said, to maybe take some of the blow away from what happened last week. But again, I don't feel like you needed to play the whole 90-minute tape to do that. How about play the first 2 minutes before that part so they could hear what happened in the conversation before and put some context to it. Again, if I'm a juror, I don't want to sit through 90 minutes of somebody else's phone conversation, but that's just me. Also, and I got a lot of this from, not a lot, I got it all from Mr. Dennis Byron. I've been telling you guys from the beginning, check him out. He went live on Instagram today. He may go live because it was raining, so he wasn't outside doing his whole YouTube setup thing. He went Instagram, and he may do it again this afternoon. I couldn't tell you. I didn't see his afternoon briefing. But he said that the language was very vile. And again, that could be offensive to some people who don't want to hear F you, F this, F that, N-word this, N-word. People don't want to hear all of that. So that could have been offensive. Remember, we are dealing with the majority of the jury are not people of color. These are not black people who might, I'm not saying that it's okay for us to cuss around each other. But what I'm saying is you saying the N-word this and the N-word that, that could be very cringy for people. So anyway, and in open court. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that this is a conversation that Tasha K secretly recorded. So Lovely T did not know that this conversation had been recorded. Now, clearly Georgia must be a one-party consent state, because if this videotape or audio tape was recorded illegally, I can't imagine that her defense would be able to submit it as evidence if it was an illegally obtained piece of document. Again, didn't go to law school. Y'all get me together if I'm wrong about that. But Lovely T did not know that this conversation was being recorded. And at one point they said that Lovely T started crying because she felt so bad about this whole situation. Now, some of the things that were said in the conversation, Tasha K kept using the terms us and we. Now, that would lead some people to speculate the us and we part of this situation. Are you trying to bring Lovely T in to what happened here? Are you trying to make her a co-conspirator in your situation? Are you trying, what would be the purpose of playing that in court today? And why, when you knew you were recording the tape, and Lovely T didn't know, why are you using us and we should be able to report what we want and we should be able to say what we want? I don't know, y'all. It sounds real funny to me. Storm Monroe's name even came up in that conversation, and y'all know that Tasha K and Storm Monroe have had a very public falling out over the last couple of weeks. So, Lord, why his name come up? We don't need his name and nothing else. But the most damning testimony, in my opinion, today was Tasha K was back on the stand this afternoon, and she actually had to admit that she lied, and the prosecution accused her of perjury today. Now, there's that infamous tape that video where Tasha K told her audience that she did get the cease and desist letter and that she would wipe her ass with it. In that video, she stated that she spoke to her attorneys, implying Olga and company, and they told her that the cease and desist was false, and that is why she was going to wipe her ass with it. Well, on the stand today, they got Tasha K to admit that she did not talk to her attorneys. She talked to a friend of hers who was an attorney, and that friend practiced family law, not civil or criminal law, and misled her whole audience. Also got her to admit that some of her earlier testimony was also contrary and that she lied. leading them to ask the infamous question that we have all heard in any law movie, Law and Order, A Few Good Men, The 12 Good Men, any law movie worth its salt, we have heard this line before. So the question is, were you lying then, or are you lying now? The judge is over it and ready for this case to be over, ladies and gentlemen. I said on yesterday that the case might extend into next week, but the way the judge was talking earlier today, he wants to give this case to the jury tomorrow. He told Tasha K's attorneys they had the rest of today and tomorrow morning to wrap up their case, and then he wanted to turn it over to the jury. So, ladies and gentlemen, we may get some sort of resolution to this case by next week. I don't anticipate the jury taking a long time. And that's just me. Again, didn't go to law school. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.